Good evening and many thanks for joining me on the Primetime News Ship as we navigate current affairs waters. It's a pleasure to have you. I'm Michael Madimba. In our top story tonight, President of Finland, Sauli Niinisto, has arrived in Namibia. Niinisto, who is in the country on a 3-day state visit, arrived in the land of the brave this afternoon at the Hosea Kutako International Airport. Josephina Simeon brings us scenes of his arrival.
Namibia and Finland has got very deep and long-standing relations between the two countries, especially in the area of culture and religion. You will know that Finland was the first missionaries that came to Namibia and has established churches and religious institutions, schools, etc., especially in the north. So this relationship between Finland and Namibia is going deeper than economic and trade relations. The areas that we will be looking at especially is in the area of education, health, trade and industry, as well as in the area of energy. You know that green hydrogen has taken center stage and everybody wants to really partner and cooperate with Namibia in this area. In the area of education, you will know that a lot of universities in Finland has been assisting technically our universities in this country and so forth. So these are the areas that we're mainly focusing on.
Anti-Corruption Commission Director General Paulus Noah says there is need to address loopholes on the laws regulating transnational organized crime and preventing Namibia from being grey-listed by the Financial Action Task Force. Noah underscored this on Tuesday during the signing ceremony of a Memorandum of Agreement by the Commission, NAMPO and the Financial Intelligence Center. Linia Dishina Father's report.
We must understand that crimes like money laundering are crimes that needs all institutions to join hands. And it's not only about the law enforcement agencies particularly, it's about all other institutions, regulatory bodies, including the Bank of Namibia. Regulatory bodies such as NAFISA, BIPA, Master of the High Court, when things seems to need to be corrected. I'm talking from the point of information because we have cases that we have investigated about even children's funds being stolen by their lawyers. And if these things are happening, it's because in one way or another, there are loopholes in the laws or regulations that are regulating these trust funds. And these are the things that need to be corrected if we have to avoid the grey listing of Namibia. It's not only about the Anti-Corruption Commission, it's not only about the Namibian Police Force, it's not only about the Financial Intelligence Center, it's about all the institutions put hands together, move in one direction, and we make sure that all laws that need to be amended, they are amended. Laws that need to be enacted, they are enacted, and make sure that Namibia become a shining example that other countries can learn in terms of fighting money laundering, organized crime such as financing of terrorism, to mention but some only.
Now, a welcome relief for students of the Namibia University of Science and Technology, as the institution has sanctioned those with outstanding fees to attend the graduation ceremony slated for 27 and 28 April. However, there is a catch to this, as they will not receive their certificates or academic transcripts until all fees are settled. Primetime News was at the NEST campus to gauge the students' sentiments on this.
I think it means everything, especially coming to university. First year was rough, second year was rough, third year was the roughest. So I think a ceremony to celebrate that means everything, because it really, it wakes you up that, yeah, I did that. Even though I went through those restless nights and everything, I did that, I managed. So the ceremony, I would say, is quite important. It's everything.
I think it's only fair for them to attend the graduation ceremony because the money can they can actually pay the money like within a few months or so. But the main priority is for them to actually attend the graduation ceremony because they have worked so many years, so many hours to attain this qualification, and it's only fair for them to attend the graduation ceremony.
For me, I believe that students were supposed to be given a chance just to attend the ceremony because they have really worked hard. So at least they have to get a chance to experience that the hard work which they have achieved throughout the years.
Now, our next story is nothing short of a movie scene. 5 men suspected to be habitual armed robbers in the Khomas, Erongo and Otjiwajuba regions were allegedly shot and killed Tuesday night by members of the Namibian police force at Okahanja. More from this insert.
Nampo Unit Commander for Community Affairs in the Otjiwajuba region, Inspector Maureen Beha, confirmed the incident to Nampa in an interview earlier today, saying that police officers were still busy on the crime scene. She confirmed that there was an exchange of gunfire between some of the police officers and suspects in the Okahanja area last night. Beha said that details of the shooting incident were incomplete for now, as most of the police investigators were engaged at the crime scene and investigation continues. Reporting for Primetime News, Damona Kanganjera.
Stay tuned for the business segment. Welcome to Primetime Biz, the segment where business matters are topical. Kickstarting the segment, South Africa's Minister of Electricity, Kgosientsho Ramokgopa, on Tuesday implored the private sector to help the government build industrial capacity and generate energy to address power shortages facing the country.
Ramokgopa, while addressing the Solar and Future Energy Show Africa 2023, which began on Thursday, says the African government is removing constraints that impede businesses to promote investment in energy generation. Ramokgopa said there are possibilities of private sector to make money and contribute to the overall growth of South Africa, adding they are the ones to help them resolve these challenges. He further noted South Africa is in the process of strengthening the grid, calling for the private sector to take advantage of the opportunities presented by the transitioning from reliance on fossil fuels to clean energy.
Staying in South Africa, where President Cyril Ramaphosa on Tuesday condemned the EU for restrictions on citrus exports from the country to prevent the importation of non-indigenous moths, which stranded tons of fruit at sea when introduced last year. Ramaphosa said he was disappointed at the EU's acts of protectionism against the country's agricultural products, most recently the country's citrus. More from this report.
The rules which seek to combat the spread of a pest called the false codling moth require South African farmers to apply extreme cold treatment to all Europe-bound oranges. In July 2022, the country filed a complaint with the World Trade Organization after the EU introduced the new safety requirements on citrus imports. The South African president noted they are now the world's second largest exporter of citrus and believe the recent decision by the EU are unfair. Ramaphosa said this while co-hosting a business roundtable with visiting President of Finland, Sauli Niinistö, in Pretoria. Ramaphosa told Niinistö that he looked to Helsinki to make the case against rising protectionism in the EU and in favor of free trade. When the regulations came into force, ships carrying more than 1,000 containers of South African fruit were already at sea, forcing them to be held up on arrival, according to the local Citrus Farmers Association. In August, Pretoria then struck a temporary deal to clear the tons of oranges stuck at ports across Europe amid the trade dispute. With an industry valued at almost $2 billion, Africa's most industrialized economy is ranked behind Spain as the world's second largest exporter of fresh citrus.
This brings us to the end of our top segment for tonight. Now, let's look at what the weather has in store for us across the land of the brave. Welcome to Sport Planet. Domestic football leads the segment. It was fireworks, champagne and confetti as Katutura Giants African Stars were Tuesday night crowned champions of the 2022-23 Dave Marine Namibia Premiership after their 3-1 win against Okahanja United at the Sport Club Windhoek Sports Ground. African Stars started the season firing in all cylinders as they went 22 games unbeaten and just needed a win against Okahanja United to be crowned champions with 4 games remaining in the season. An early goal from the league's top goal scorer, Willie Stefanus, set the tone on the night as African Stars dominated play in the first half. Stefanus scored his brace minutes before the halftime break to make it 2-0 at the break.
It was a long season, tough games, back-to-back games, Saturday, Sunday. So we are more than happy to be crowned champions today.
As a Champions Leaguer, what does this mean to you as a retired footballer? And now you are still winning it at national level. You are retired, but at club level.
Let's draw that distinction.
Yeah.
I'm still an active player. I'm still part of the African Stars team. I'm still part of the plan of going into Africa now. Obviously, we have won the league here, so we have automatically qualified to play Champions League. So we are looking forward now to the CAF Champions League. So it's quite an amazing feeling.
Congratulations to the newly crowned champions and for keeping it off with a long unbeaten run. On to the English Premier League. Latest reports indicate talks are at an advanced stage and Mauricio Pochettino is the leading favourite to become manager at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea have witnessed turbulent times on and off the pitch following the sacking of Graham Potter. Club legend Frank Lampard was appointed thereafter in a temporary role until the end of the current season. We will keep tracking this story for you. Stand by for your sports roundup. This is where the Primetime News Sheep talks. Thanks for being with us. Do make a date with us again tomorrow. From myself, Michael Madimba, and the entire crew behind the scenes, it's good night.